Okay, we're good. We're live. Hello, everyone. This is the Atheist Ranger. As the title suggests, this is my January sub hangout. Sorry, this has not happened in 2 months, but like November, I went on vacation, and I think December you got the holidays, so who wants to deal with a hangout on the holidays? Anyway, all I got here with me is the lovely Bionic Dance, aka Kate. How's it going?
Hello. Oh, I've definitely been worse.
You and me both.
Mhm.
Uh yeah, I was
What
just
amuses me, the last one of these hangouts, like I was looking at your channel earlier, and guess who's the thumbnail?
yeah, right. That was not my intention. It just happened that way, I swear. That not to be mean, but maybe that's why it got so many views. Just playing.
How would that be mean?
Well, I didn't want you to think I was using you.
Oh,
That's
no,
all.
no,
I
no.
didn't want
Hey.
you to get the wrong idea.
Nah, it's cool. It's totally cool. Hey, we got to support each other in this atheist community. If I help you get more subs, hey, I'm doing my job, right?
Yeah,
And
actually,
vice versa for that matter. I mean, hell, there's probably people on your channel who've never heard of my dumb butt. If they come over and subscribe, hey, great.
yeah, there we go. Yeah, in fact, my last video, I don't know if it's a coincidence, but the last video I made, asking for help, I think like 3 hours later, I lost like 2 subscribers. I'm like, really? Like, are you guys that much of an assholes?
It happens. It happens. I don't know. Some people will unsubscribe for the most petty reasons too. It's funny.
Yeah. Oh, Atheist Venom's in the chat. Hey, Atheist Venom, I did add you to the Hangout.
Oh,
So
I
I,
should probably open up the chat.
yeah. I mean, I have it on my phone right here. I just have the volume not up.
Well, still, I don't have it up. I don't even have your page up at the moment. I probably should. Right now, all I have is the Hangout open.
Yeah, no problem. So I know you're not big into politics, but what do you think about Elizabeth Warren announcing her presidency?
Well, see, the thing is, I mean, as much as I like her, and I do, nobody's perfect. And that's the problem is there's always someone who's going to look at the person that you say, oh, hey, they're not bad. And they'll go, oh, yeah, well, what about this, and this? And you're like, well, yeah, but if you look at the other options, but I mean, like in general, I like her in general. I'm sure there are some things that are kind of like, well, if not actually deal breakers, at least make me go, ugh. But, well, I mean, let's put it this way, if she was running for president last time around and she'd gotten the nomination instead of Hillary, I'd have voted for her with no question.
Yeah, I mean, quite frankly, I'm still a little pissed that Bernie got screwed. In fact, speaking of politics, I don't know why, and who knows, I may get shit for this, but I've recently been watching the crap out of Jesse Ventura.
Hmm. I mean, okay, the few times I've seen him when he wasn't a wrestler, I've been kind of impressed, but I haven't really watched him with anything you might call regularity.
Well, that's because I think the news channel he works for now is technically paid by the Russian government. It's called RT America.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, so that's why. But I think the last I heard, he's still living in Mexico with his wife.
Okay.
And the only downside is he considers Alex Jones a good friend, and he is a bit of a conspiracy theorist.
Okay, Alex Jones, ugh, okay,
Yeah.
that's a deal breaker right there. Um,
Well, let me be clear. I agree with it. I agree with Jesse Ventura's politics. I don't agree. Obviously, we agree with his conspiracy theories.
well, I have to admit, I mean, as fiction, conspiracy theories are so much fun. But I
Yeah.
think some people just I mean, that's the thing. I wonder if it's like we believe in them because we started watching them as fiction and then really like them way too much, or is it something else? I don't know.
I saw a stand-up
Good day.
comedian. Hey, Pikachu. How's it going?
Not too bad. Bernie Sanders do a live stream for a little while responding to Trump.
Gotcha. I was about to say,
Yeah.
because there was this one stand-up comedian that he was actually making fun of people that didn't believe in at least one conspiracy theory. I'm like, somewhat of a point, but nah, I'm good. That's not me.
See,
Hey, dude,
if I'm going to believe any conspiracy theory at all, if I'm going to go that way, it's got to be Area 51 because that's the most fun.
oh
But other
yes,
than that, no, sorry, no conspiracy theories for me.
yeah. Well, no, I think one of the things that Jesse Ventura says that, in fact,
Aliens.
one of the things I'm passionate about when it comes to politics is getting the private money out of politics. And one point he made when he said he obviously disagrees with the whole money being free speech bullshit. And he said if money is free speech, why do we lock up people who buy prostitutes if money is free speech? I'm like, that's a good point.
Well, I mean, prostitution being illegal in the first place is insane. I mean, as long as it's like well regulated so that everyone stays healthy, what's wrong with it?
And not only that, if it's well regulated, you take away the pimps, and with no pimps, you don't get beatings.
There is that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, man. If things don't going well for me, I may have to go. I may have to go lift up my legs, so to speak. If you catch my drift.
I really don't.
Just playing.
I feel the same way about drugs. Like they should legalize drugs, but they don't do it.
Yeah. I mean, prohibition has always led to just underground crime, and it's more harm than good. You know, you might as well focus on getting help for people who don't want to be hooked on drugs anymore.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's just like this border wall thing. I mean, it's like Bernie Sanders said, this border wall is going to cost like $70 billion. And it's going to billion. And it's fucking ridiculous because he wants to build it. And I've said this before to somebody on Twitter. The main reason why he wants to build it is because of racial reasons, I think, more or less.
No, I think it was. I personally think it's just a distraction from all the crap he's doing.
Yeah, that too.
Well,
Yeah.
On top of it, he's got to play to his base, and that was a huge part of what he ran on. And as retarded as it was, you know, his base is just as retarded. So, fucking, he's got to play to them. He's got to get a win in his fucking for his retard base. Sorry.
Oh, speaking of retard, I think recently saw Sarah Huckabee Sanders on Fox News blatantly lying, saying that we caught 4,000 terrorists on the southern border. When if you actually do the research, we haven't caught a terrorist on the southern border in like I think a decade, if I'm not mistaken.
No, that's not news though, because
it was repeated by Trump.
Yeah,
sorry about that. It was repeated by Trump too.
Yeah, but Sarah Sanders and Trump lying has been a hallmark of their fucking presidency. It's all he does. I have not had a single day where Trump has not said something demonstrably false.
Gotcha. That's true. Oh, by the way, Paul the Skeptic, I don't know if you've been in here before, but I hope you finally welcome you to my channel. I know you've been in my chat and in my comment sections quite a bit, sir.
Yep. Hi, Paul.
You may have to unmute.
You know, I've actually thought about for a while. I don't really know the full context. I can't really write something just based on this, but I want to do a piece of fiction where there's like these two idiots in the White House, President Dunning and Vice President Kruger, just to see who gets it.
Oh, no.
Because I'm sure someone will go, hey, wait a minute. But I think most people won't. Because, I mean, how many people actually know about Dunning-Kruger if they're not, like, heavily involved in debates and stuff?
That's true.
So, I think it'd be a nice little Easter egg, that's all.
Yeah.
So, it's nice to meet everyone. Hi.
Hello. Atheist Venom.
Yeah.
Pretty sure you've met Bionic Dance, right?
I don't think I have met her.
Well, I've been around a bit, but you know, I don't meet everybody.
Yeah, same here. I know Pikachu. I think I've seen Paul the Skeptic too. So, yeah, it's nice seeing everybody.
Oh, no problem.
Yeah.
Yep, that was Paul.
Oh, Paul.
He think his mic is broken. Oh well.
It's all good.
No, how's everyone doing? What's new with life to the people who just got in here?
I mean, for a while, I was getting to know, what was it, Neil 6'4" Atheist or something like that, I think it is.
Oh,
Kind of got to know
604
him
Atheist?
for a while. 6'4", yeah.
Yeah, I know him.
Yeah, I kind of got to know him for a while, but I mean, I didn't participate in his last few live streams for some reason, so I don't know why.
Okay. Good old Pikachu. You know, I would love to see you on my. I'd love to see you more often, man. You're fun.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, no problem, Paul. So I was reading Paul's comment. So what does everyone think about Kevin Hart's I guess tussle with the LGBT community? I mean,
I didn't see that.
Oh,
Yeah, this doesn't sound familiar.
No, supposedly he made some comments on Twitter, and now he's not hosting the the Oscars anymore.
I try not to. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, that was just me going, huh?
Oh, okay. So I try not to care what celebrities think about subjects. Their opinion is no more valid than anyone else's just because they have a platform. Kevin Hart, what he thinks, it's not going to change my opinion. Whether the Oscars want to have him on or not, that's up to them. That's their priority, not really big deal. Kevin Hart wants to say some stupid shit. There's nothing different than anyone else on Twitter.
I have to say, it's always kind of weird to me when someone who's even slightly famous says something even slightly controversial, and all of a sudden they've lost their job. They're not hosting this or that or the other thing anymore. They have to resign from everything. It's like there is an absolute no tolerance, like one strike and you're out policy in like the whole high profile world. And I mean, while I get it, at the same time, it's got to feel like you're walking on eggshells all the time.
Yeah. I mean, I don't care what Kevin Hart says, but apparently a lot of people do, which is the problem. Too many people just getting these lynch mobs, and then companies want to do whatever, to appease these lynch mobs. And next thing you know, Kevin Hart's not hosting. But then again, it is the Oscars choice, so.
Well, one thing that amuses the hell out of me, though, is like there's that one woman who recently said something like that she wanted to get into office so she could impeach the motherfucker, meaning Trump. And recently, like earlier today, Samuel L. Jackson came out and endorsed her use of the word motherfucker, despite the fact that everyone else like shit their pampers. He's like, yeah, right on. So yeah.
Oh, I know that annoyed the fuck out of me because, of course, fucking Fox News came out. Oh, well, what about the decorum of the Democratic Party? I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? You guys are the same people that didn't even blink an eyelash when Trump was cursing on the fucking campaign trail.
These are the people that support him way more.
They lump Ocasio-Cortez and Joe Manchin together in the same boat. They're not even in the same boat, and that's exactly what Fox News does. They consider Joe Manchin the left.
Well, Ocasio-Cortez, I mean, like, they have that whole thing where she was doing that dance, right, when she was in college, where I didn't even realize this at the time. Someone else pointed it out, that she was recreating the dance from The Breakfast Club. And somehow Fox News, the right wing, is trying to spin this as, oh my gosh, look at who you're trying to elect. Someone in her early 20s or even just her teens was dancing. Oh! I was like, come on, guys. Really? That's the best you got.
I mean, this is Fox News. From what I've seen from the host, most of those motherfuckers don't even know what a fucking marginal tax rate is.
No, they don't.
No.
But
Man,
I mean, the country would be. I've even said this, that it would be better if they had a 70% marginal tax rate. But you know, who the fuck knows?
Well, I mean, during the 50 years of golden economic expansion we had in this country, I think the marginal tax
Yeah,
rate for the top 1% was 90%.
yeah, and I think I remember hearing that Kennedy wanted to lower it, but under the Kennedy era, you had it around 70, 80, 90%. You know,
Yeah, but
and
I think it's now it's at 28%, and the income tax rate for the top 1% is 40. So I want that to sink in with everyone that may watch this. The middle class income tax rate is 60%, and the top 1% is 40%. Does that sound fair?
No. Hey,
No.
Atheist Ranger, can I? Because I'm about to get off. I just wanted to say I'm sorry, but I would like. I got to handle my kids.
Oh, no problem.
But I
That's a
really
big deal.
appreciate you having me on, and I appreciate meeting all of you. It's been fun. All right, sorry again.
Not a problem.
All right,
Thanks for
have a good
having
one, everyone.
See ya.
Bye.
don't get run over.
Oh, I'm about to.
Don't smoke too much weed.
Every time someone says something like that, I remember this one scene in The Simpsons. I think they're watching one of those McBain shows or something, and there's like this underworld boss going, "We have developed a drug that is 10 times more addictive than marijuana," or something like that. It's like, yeah, because weed's addicting.
Well, I mean, my favorite, I would assume my favorite episode of The Simpsons is the one where they had the creationism or whatever, and they were trying to put creationism in school, and Lisa Simpson was going around saying, "No, this is unscientific," blah blah blah, you know, the whole 9 yards, and that had to be probably one of my most favorite ones.
Not sure I know that one, but then I've not seen The Simpsons in a very
Oh.
long time. I keep hoping one of the streaming services will put up the entire series. Like I think Hulu or Amazon Prime or something, they have like from season 20 on or something crazy like that, but they don't have the whole series.
I hope
think
they
you
do
can
the same
find
thing with soap
them.
operas.
Yeah.
Sorry, say
I
that
think
again?
you can find some of them on YouTube. The seasons,
Yeah, but it's not the same
but
thing.
you have to pay for them.
No, I said
But-
I hope they do the same thing, but with soap operas, because I watched a few soap operas.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
What, like The Young and the Restless and all that shit?
I watched. Yes, I watched that one and Bold and the Beautiful.
Huh.
That is my
Okay.
guilty pleasure.
Fair enough. I'm trying to think, like, what is my guilty pleasure? I'm sure there's something I watch where some part of me is either horrified that I watch it or that my friends would be horrified that I watch it or something. I'm sure I've got something. I don't know.
Is it lesbian porn? Because that wouldn't be shocking.
Well, no, that's not shocking at all. If I freely admit, hey.
Just a joke.
Yeah. No, gosh, there's got to be something. I
Think
mean,
it through.
okay, I have some music where it's like, wow, I can't believe I listen to this crap, but not TV or movies.
I have a few guilty pleasures when it comes to music. I mean, there's quite a few Disney songs that I hate to admit that I actually enjoy listening to once in a while.
Oh, I think I can top that. Now, I love telling this story. I know I've told it to other people before, so stop me if you heard it. But I was in New York City a bunch of years ago, and I didn't have Shazam on my phone yet. So when I was walking past this vendor booth on Staten Island, I heard this song, and I was like, wow, this is pretty good. All right. And I'm just like nodding my head to it. And I'm like, quick, I better write down some of the lyrics so I can look it up when I get home. Right. So I get back to the hotel. I fire up my Chromebook and I start like looking up on Google what the lyrics were. And I'm like, oh, shit. It's One Direction. It's One Direction. No. So I ended up like downloading their entire catalog, and 80% of what they've done is complete and utter garbage. But that other 20%, oh my gosh. So just saying, that's my guilty pleasure is 20% of One Direction.
That's fine. I mean, I still listen to the Backstreet Boys. So
Oh.
They're okay.
I mean, how can you not love the Backstreet Boys?
Like this. See, I'm doing it right now. So
I can't help it. I'm a child from the '90s.
see, I'm an '80s kid. So
there we go. You know what? I will give you this. You guys had the best rock music in the '80s.
Damn right we did.
Oh man, fucking goddamn the Scorpions. You gotta get Joan Jett, my personal favorite artist.
Well, and you know, the hair metal was a lot of fun too, like Def Leppard and stuff, AC/DC, all of those guys. I really enjoyed that stuff.
Most of my iPod is filled with those people.
You ever listen to Steel Panther?
Yeah.
I like a few of his songs.
Well, it's a band. Steel Panther's a whole band. But
yeah. Oh, I mean, yes, I do like a few of their songs. Correct.
Okay. Just saying.
I was going to say something. One of my favorite bands is Iron Maiden. But the thing that got me was the other day I was listening to it and they had a song about the Ku Klux Klan in there, and I was like, oh, God.
Huh.
That's
Never
weird.
knew about that one.
Yeah.
But I mean,
if someone says Iron Maiden, all I can think of is Bill and Ted shouting, Iron Maiden! Excellent! That's all I can think of if someone says Iron Maiden. So
I only like 4 of their songs. And that's saying something because how many albums they sold.
Well, 2 of my favorites is Number of the Beast, and I think it is Aces High, I think it is. Actually, I like Trooper, too.
Yeah, like the only 4 songs I like by Iron Maiden is I think The Hill, Run to the Hills, sorry. Run to the Hills.
That one too.
The Trooper, Number of the Beast, and Can I Play with Madness?
Yeah, that song too. Oh, goodness gracious. Yeah, but I saw you, Kate, I saw you made a video on Essence of Thought. Could you get on, talk about that a little bit?
If you like. Gosh, there was this whole thing about whether or not, well, see, here's the problem. Atheism and secularism got sort of muddied in his video. And so there was this whole thing about how politics doesn't belong in the atheist community. Then there was this whole thing about how secularism is inherently like political and this, that, and the other thing. But then sometimes atheism meant secularism too, but sometimes it was completely, so it was this whole big mess. But the thing is, my position on it was that there are a lot of people out there who like to say, oh, well, atheism is a religion. And I'm like, well, you know, it's not, and it never will be. But if people start saying atheists believe X, atheists believe Y, atheists believe Z, and if you call yourself an atheist, you have to believe in these things. Like it's, even if it's not a religion, like it's a political party or something. And that is something I've been arguing against for a very long time. Like back when Atheism Plus happened, where people were saying, well, we're atheists and we do this charity like in the name of atheism. I think in the name of atheism is something that should never exist, right? It's just that's not what being an atheist is. Now, the problem is Essence of Thought did not quite get this message, did not quite understand what I was trying to say. And so basically he like totally put up his dukes and was going, you're straw manning me. And you know, like this is what secularism means and stuff. And I'm like, dude, this isn't what I was talking about. And then he's like, then you challenge me to defend this, that, and the other. I'm like, I didn't expect you to defend anything. This was not an attack on you. This was me expressing a concern that I've had for many years that kind of like feeds into the whole politics don't belong in atheism thing. And it just, that message never got across no matter what I did or said. So yeah.
I kind of feel the same way. Like there's these people that say that even religion shouldn't be involved with politics at all. And I feel that I feel it's almost like we have to be involved with politics to just get the rights because religion is taken away from so much. But it's I mean, with religion being, political, but yeah, it's really one of those things where I just say too, my atheism is like not connected with politics, but I would still sit up there and say that I'm still a humanist, but I don't have to have my atheism connected with politics because it's just atheism is just a lack of belief,
Exactly.
Yeah, I always have that. Always keep having to define that crap, especially when I'm dealing with pre-suppers. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. I just a quick side note because I mentioned I watched soaps earlier. To anyone in who doesn't know the YouTuber theoretical bullshit, his real name is obviously Scott Clifton, and he plays on Bold and the Beautiful.
Huh. Oh wait, I knew he was an actor. I didn't know about the Bold and the Beautiful part.
Yep.
Well, along those lines, actually, there's a certain. Well, okay, most people don't know that he even exists, unfortunately. But one of the members of the crew of the Atheist Experience is this guy named Mark Vandebrake. That's it, Mark Vandebrake. And he was in the movie Willow, if you've ever seen that. He played Willow's son, right? And I met him at a convention, and apparently he'd watched my videos for a while, and he's a really, really nice guy. So
yeah, I think yours truly. I was talking about Kate here. I think you were back in the day. You want I think Tosh too.
Tosh.0, yeah, that was about 2-3 years ago. Yeah.
Yes, I was. Because I do a lot of comedy searches when I'm on YouTube, and sure enough, that came under the recommended videos. I'm like, oh crap! I didn't know she was on TV.
Well, it's funny. Back in, gosh, what was it, like 2002 or so? I got my very first IMDb entry, and now I've got like what 8, 10, something like that. It's pretty cool.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so it's only 5, but still.
Yeah. So yeah, and I think when I was little, I was me and my siblings were on one of those Nickelodeon shows. I forget the name of it.
Like one of the game show sort of things. Like
yeah,
what?
I want to say it was Double Dare, but again, I can't remember because when I was a kid, they had so many game shows on Nickelodeon. It's hard to say.
Wow, man, I'm trying to remember what that other one was, where it was like they were running up these obstacles and stuff.
Yes, it was that one. I believe it was that one.
The temple thing, whatever the
Temple of Doom. Yeah.
Okay, now I want to look this up.
I had a vivid feed about the Temple of Doom not too long ago, and I think I was searching some stuff about. I was getting some stuff in my feed about Nickelodeon's Orlando location that they used to have, and Universal Studios, and I was saying like I kept just getting the I got the Temple of Doom thing a couple of times or something like that. They were talking about like the history of it and stuff like that.
Okay, this is annoying. They don't have the one I'm thinking of up here. Oh well.
Oh well. I mean, like I said, who knows if they even aired the episode? I just knew that was on there somewhere.
Yeah, I'd never participated in any of that. I don't think I even know how you could get involved with that sort of stuff, but shit.
Again, I was maybe 5, so I don't even remember how.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I do remember how I got to watch the Letterman show live, like David Letterman, but that was just a matter of buying tickets. So
yeah. I want to say we signed up for some contest in Delaware, and I guess we were the lucky winners. And of course, we got 5. Again, I was 5 years old, and I'm going to be 28 in 2 months.
Yeah.
I think we won a contest or something like that. Then a good course it was all expense paid, plane ride there. That's all I remember.
It's kind of sad what happened to the building though, and all that sort of stuff. Like, I mean, the whole place was abandoned for a couple of years after they closed it down.
Yeah.
So, like, it was open like during the 90s, and then it closed like right after the 2000s, and it just stayed closed until the last couple of years or something like that.
Yeah.
And they started opening it up with this Blue Man sort of thing or whatever fuck it is.
And this is going to drive me up the frickin' wall. What the hell was this show?
I mean, if it helps, maybe Google Nickelodeon like child Nickelodeon or family.
I'm already doing this. I'm digging through Google and I cannot find it. This is so frustrating.
Oh Christ! Sorry to interrupt, but a friend of mine shared me some article just now. Apparently, Hillsong's pastor tells child molestation victims, "It's your fault. You tempted them."
Who said this?
Hillsong's pastor. I don't know. Let me read it here.
Well, of course, someone says that.
Religious people are always saying bullshit like, you know, women who get raped, you know, they were kind of bringing it on and shit like that.
Yeah, because it's like totally not the guy's fault. He couldn't resist, like couldn't hold himself back. He was overpowered by the apparent beauty of these women, I'm sure, and so he just had to stick his dick in them. I'm sure that was it.
Yeah. Oh, shit.
Maybe they should change their rules.
Yeah, that's just like, I mean, it's...
Oh, speaking about that kind of crap. Speaking about that kind of crap, hopefully soon, don't know how many of you out there know who he is, but I'm going to be making probably a rant video about he's a Catholic YouTuber by the name of Dean Esme, aka Red Pill Religion.
Oh God.
Yeah, yeah. To anyone who doesn't know who he is, he's just, in my personal opinion, a Catholic SJW who has nothing but projection. Everything he accuses atheists of is what he does. And by the way, he's one of those people who still thinks Hitler was an atheist. He's one of those type of atheists.
But they love saying that just so that they can be like, well, clearly atheists are horrible people because they can, like, look what an atheist did. And yeah. I mean, that's another reason why I fight against that whole labeling of atheism, like doing something in the name of atheism. It's like, you know, an atheist could do something like if an atheist robbed a bank and a theist robbed a bank, did either one of them do it because of their views on religion? No, they didn't. So when you say, oh, look at what atheists do, it's like, so yeah. Don't get me started.
You know something else? Holocaust. The word Holocaust has Hebrew history. Has a Hebrew, it comes from ancient Hebrew, as meaning for sacrifice to God, burnt offering to God, or something like that, I think. And in addition to that, you have in the Hitler's books him saying that he did this for God, that he, you know, he basically he wanted to kill the Jews for God, or fight a war that was to him considered a political war.
Okay, is he cutting out for anyone else?
No, he's cutting out.
Okay.
For me. Not just you.
All right. I was gonna say.
Looks like it's just you and me.
Still cutting out?
Okay, I'm gonna have to give up on this whole finding that TV show because I I don't know what it was. Oh well.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Hey, Bionic Dance, am I still cutting out?
Not
No, you're
right now,
fine
you're
now.
not, but it was intermittent, so
Okay. Yeah, what I was saying was that the word Holocaust has Hebrew origins, and not to mention that Hitler had said many a times in his own book, in his own writings, that he performed the Holocaust for God. And the word Holocaust, as I said, means burnt offering to God.
Yeah.
well, I don't know. Every time I hear the term Holocaust, what my brain goes is, wow, how expensive is that hologram? What is that Holocaust? But that's where my brain is a horrible thing. If you could hear what I don't say, you'd probably have me locked up.
I'm gonna have so many Jews liking my channel because of that joke. Just playing.
Well, that's the thing is, I mean, it's completely involuntary. My brain does that without my consent, and it's like the only reason they should do anything to your channel is because I went out and said it. But if I don't say it, sometimes something bursts because you got to get rid of those horrible puns.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay.
And I was about to
You
say
kind of
that.
have a little bit. Yeah.
No, so I was
Sorry about that.
about to say that I think the other example they'd like to use is Stalin. But again, if most of these theists even did remotely any research, they would see that most people that died under Stalin's rule died because of starvation, not because of Russian soldiers were looking for theists to kill. Like stop, just stop.
Well, it's not. It's not to mention that Stalin was more sympathetic in some ways to the Orthodox Church than people think he should have been. And the thing is that
He restored it in
allowed the
1946.
Orthodox Church. Yeah, he allowed the Orthodox Church to exist in Soviet Russia when all these Christians, you would think that he basically didn't allow a religion at all to exist.
Oh, exactly. Like I believe it was torn down under his rule, but again, he did restore it, I believe, in 1946. A lot of theists seem to forget that when they're talking about Stalin.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think he should have shown a lot more initiative, frankly. He should have quit Stalin. Sorry. Yeah. I'll just be over here.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Oh, shoot.
So what projects you guys coming up with?
I'm
like
doing
specifically
something
for
on free
YouTube or
will.
just in general?
Yeah.
Well, both, really.
You were
I'm doing something on
saying
free will.
No, I said both, really.
that does. Well, I was waiting. He started before I asked the question.
Yeah.
The free
Sorry
will
about that.
thing does seem to be making its rounds lately.
Oh, yeah, the free will argument.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I just did a collab with the Godless Iowan, or Philosophically Godless. I don't know which one he prefers now. He changed his channel name. So, I mean, if more people are doing stuff about free will, well, like I say, it seems to be catching.
Yeah. What about you, Pikachu?
I'm doing the free will argument thing, as Keith said. Supposed to be uploading it tomorrow, but I've been kind of lax on my uploads lately for some reason.
Yeah, I was pardon me. I meant to do this last year, but I completely forgot with vacation and the holidays. I was going to make a very short but temporary series about because I found a website that has like all the theistic arguments and how to refute them. So I was going to do that like as a little series.
Well,
Cool.
I don't really have a lot of projects on the spike right now. I mean, generally speaking, when I make a YouTube video, it's because I did a search for something and found that someone was being a complete jackass and decided to respond to it. But I do have some animation projects in the works, so there's that.
Nice.
I'm about the same, pretty much. Like, I just search up stuff to find things to put on my channel or something like that.
Well, I just hope I have the time to do all my stuff because, like I said, I've recently got a second job, and well, it's only, why I don't have to do it that often. Working 2 jobs does keep you busy.
Hey, you need to
That's
get
actually
money in.
one thing that's really nice about actually having a mildly successful YouTube channel and Patreon patrons is after a while, you can just sort of do that as your job.
I mean, honestly, I would keep my PayPal, but I don't think my audience is ever going to get to the size of, yours or Steve's or obviously TJ Kirk's. So,
yeah, I could wish to have an audience that size. Hell, there's some people out there who don't even have a fraction of his subscriber counts where I'm like, I'd love to have half of yours. Like Logic, for example. If I could have half his subscriber base, I'd be thrilled.
well, I think the same applies to me when it comes to your subscriber base. I wish I had even a quarter of that.
Well, I don't know. I mean, there are some tricks to it, to getting like more subscribers. Just little things you can do that seem like cheating at first, but then when you realize A, it's totally not, and B, it works, you should totally do them. Just little things.
I mean, I think when it comes to certain things that I want explained very well, I usually will mirror a video,
Well, I mean, honestly, thumbnails matter a lot. If you want people to click on what you've got, you got to make it look interesting. And the way to do that, make sure you have a lot of really bright, vibrant colors. Make sure that the saturation is cranked, because that makes people, like, their eye is drawn to it. And they're like, oh, I'm curious about that. And it sounds like you're clickbaiting them, but at the same time, if your video is good, they'll watch. So
yeah, I think the thumbnail I usually use is the one on my channel. Is the one on my channel with like all 6 of the original Power Rangers, and that's kind of a dark color.
yeah, so that's the sort of thing I used to do. Especially like I would just take a freeze frame from my videos and put some text on it, and that was it. And that doesn't work very well, I've found. Although one thing that is kind of fun, if you use an image from someone who is in the video, like the person you're trying to refute, try to find them making either an ooh sound, an sh, or a ch sound, because make someone look like a total dork if they're doing a like that. It's a lot of fun to do that to them.
Gotcha.
A good program to use to do some of that with, if you don't have enough money for After Effects, or not After Effects, Photoshop, is GIMP. Yeah, I've been using GIMP, but I mean, I wish I was a little bit better at using it though.
Well, I mean, it takes practice, and there are some things where it's like I've found with some programs, they label things in really strange ways, where it's like, oh, that's what does that effect I've been looking for? Why didn't you just call it fill in the blank? So, I mean, there's a lot of times where it's just like you don't even know that you can do what you wanted to do.
Yeah,
that's
true.
Kate,
do you use TubeBuddy?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, I use it too. I hear it's pretty good for finding tags and stuff like that.
Yep. And that's another one of those tricks to getting more subscribers, is putting your video so that it like ends up being recommended after people have watched the other person's video, making sure that the algorithm sees it, is to just copy and paste their tags into your tags and add your own, of course. But as long as you have theirs in your video, it will generally end up connected to their video when, like I say, with the recommendations and all that stuff.
Yeah, gotcha. Because I mean, that is what I do with my videos, though. I pretty much create my own tags.
Yeah. I've been kind of the same way. Create my own tags, like long tail tags and stuff like that. But I mean, I never thought of that. I mean, but then again, too, there's some YouTubers that are big that have been big for years that don't even know how to use tags, and like
Crazy.
they'll just have blank. I mean, like they'll have like 5 or 6 tags on there that don't do anything. You know?
Well, I mean, it might be that that's actually better than having a ton of them. I don't know. I mean, how the
Yeah.
algorithm works on YouTube is a mystery to just about everybody. So, and it seems like they change it every couple of months.
Oh, good. It's not just
Yeah,
me.
that's true too.
Because I found that to be true. Like, it really doesn't matter how many tags you put in your videos. Like, to me, it just stays the same view-wise for me.
I mean, how I should try using fewer tags in my videos just a couple of times and see what happens.
Yeah, because, I mean, I think on average, my videos get anywhere between maybe 50 to 100 views. Which, I mean, I guess isn't
Yeah,
bad
I'm pretty much
considering
the same way.
my sub base, but still.
And there's something else too. You have to be consistent. You have to be consistent with uploads.
Yeah, see,
as
I
well.
don't do that. I mean, I'm lucky if I do an upload
Yeah,
every couple of weeks.
Barely am able to keep up with any of that right now.
Same here.
Yeah, that does make a difference. I mean, I tend to put out anywhere from 2 to 4 videos a week. So that helps a lot. But again, that's partly because I can be at home all the time just working on my vids. Like I don't have any other form of income other than Patreon, but it pays the bills because right now I'm not paying rent, which is a good thing. So yeah, it's
That's not your
definitely.
apartment, I assume?
Well, it's actually I have a condo. Right now I'm only paying like condo dues. So
Okay.
yeah.
How do you pay taxes on that stuff? Just asking on the Patreon thing.
I mean, they will
I've
send you
always had that
a
thought in
tax
my
statement
mind.
every year. Like every year, they will give you
Yeah.
what taxes we'll need to know. But interestingly enough, if you make below a certain amount per year, you don't even have to file.
Mm.
Really? I didn't know that.
No, I was
Yeah.
just wondering that because like if you ever get big on YouTube, like you're gonna have to pay up something to the government, you know? I mean, because if you think about it, if you got to be the size of PewDiePie, like, and you had a Patreon, you'd have to pay up something to the government, you know?
Well, I mean, as I understand it, PewDiePie is making like $250,000 a year. Clearly, he's paying
Yeah.
taxes on that.
Yeah.
And plus, he lives in like
The
Sweden
UK.
or something like that. UK.
Yeah.
I
I
think
thought
no,
he was
well,
Sweden.
as I understand it, he is Swedish, regardless of where he's living.
Yeah, I knew he was Swedish. I'm saying last time I heard he was living in the UK. Actually, I think my second cousin and his wife live there. Never met him.
Well, my favorite band is from Sweden, Go Roxette. But other than that, oh, and I do have an old high school friend living in Sweden. So
Nice.
and I know like 10 Swedish words. That's about it.
That's
I want to live in Sweden, but shit.
Well, one thing that's really amusing is the way, like you know how sometimes at the end of a movie they'll put just the end right? Well, in Sweden now it's pronounced slut, but it's spelled slut. So every now and then you'll just SLUT up on the screen, but it means the end, but it just seems like they're insulting the audience when it's over if you don't know what the word means. So yeah.
Oh God. I did not know that. Oh, there's a good.
Paul, no. The her is Marie Fredriksson. Roxette is the name of the band.
Now there's an interesting topic. If we could move anywhere, because I damn sure would if I had the money. What country would we all move to if we had the money?
Well, if I had the money, I'd leave the whole solar system and live on another planet. But if I had to live somewhere else, I don't know. I mean, because the thing is, number one, it's got to be nice and warm. I cannot do cold anymore. And number two, it's got to be like not cloudy all the time like Seattle was, because I can't do that anymore either. And that leaves out a huge part of the world because, I mean, again, I'd also like them to speak English like I do. So I'm basically like limited to, say, New Zealand.
I mean, for me, like I say, I don't mind the cold, but not like the cold it is up here in Vermont. I think a few days ago it was I went out to my car and it was like at the very least 4 below. Like you went outside and it caused you physical pain just to go outside. It was that kind of cold.
Well, I was raised in Vermont. Believe me, I know.
Yeah, and but for me, I don't mind the cold, but just not that kind of cold. I'd say when it comes to my perfect winter is nothing under 35 degrees. That's my perfect winter.
Well, I mean, I'm in San Diego right now, and winter, like, it got into the 40s at midnight at one point, but the rest of the day was at least like 55, maybe 60. So, I mean, winters here are mild, but it's still Southern California, so they should be better than that. But still, it's not that physical pain kind of cold.
Yeah, I mean, if like honestly, if my family didn't live on the eastern side of the United States, I probably would move to Cali actually. But as far as another country, I'd probably have to say either the UK or maybe Germany because half my ancestry comes from there.
Well, I mean, I looked at the UK and it sounds great except for the Seattle-ish weather, the constant clouds. Can't do it. Otherwise, I'd totally move to the UK.
Yeah.
The only other problem I find, sorry about that, Atheist Ranger, but the only other problem I find with the UK is that if you have a kid, like, they have to go to a religious, it's almost like they have to go to a religious school and, like, you got to participate in this and this and that, blah, 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 whole fucking 9 yards because they barely have any secular schools over there. And it's all state-run religious schools.
Yeah, that's probably why I think the second largest portion of my ancestry comes from Ireland, and from what I've heard, Ireland is pretty Catholic, and no thank you.
Yeah, actually, that's another reason why, like, I'm glad I was not forced to be raised in, say, England, is because they love school uniforms. And uniforms, for whatever reason, always have to have buttons on them. And there's something about buttons that just wig me out. I don't like them. Right? There's actually a word for it that I cannot pronounce. It's like phobia. It looks like it's Hawaiian with phobia stuck at the end of it. But there's just something I did, right? And collars, too. I hate collars. Like recently, I got a like a jury notice. Like they wanted me to be on a jury. And they said, like, outfits have to be business casual. And I'm like, I don't own business casual. I have like jeans and t-shirt. But also at the time, I hadn't had the brain surgery to get rid of the seizures yet. So I also told them, hey, I could have a seizure in the middle of a court case. And they said, you're excused. But still, like, if I was ever forced to go to a school that like demanded I wear a uniform, I would be the most truant kid you ever met. There's just something about it.
And are we all the same, pretty much? We just like Hot Topic type of things.
Yeah, we definitely like warm weather. Definitely like Hot Topics. What's your Hot Topic?
Geez. Oh, I'm talking about the store Hot Topic.
Oh, I thought you were talking about conversation starters.
No. I was talking about the store because they sell everything that I know. They sell everything that pretty much I like, and then I know Kate. They pretty much sell basically everything that I'm pretty sure you like too. You know,
like what?
Like things like Pokemon sort of stuff. Anything that's hot, anything that's popular in time.
You know, I never got into Pokemon. It just never happened,
No?
and I don't know why.
Man.
It just, I never like I guess I never encountered the show. And then when people started playing the game, I was already playing Ingress and all this stuff. So I never had the exposure to it.
I'm more of a Dragon Ball Z guy.
I used to like was what was it Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yes.
I think this is a good card to remember.
Yeah, right?
One of the first ones I pulled out of my deck, but shoot, yeah. Yeah, I've been a big fan of like Yu-Gi-Oh and Pokemon for a long time, but the other thing was that one of the things behind my channel is like I'm big in this counter psychology sort of thing, and this thing with using things that certain people don't like to turn people who are sitting on the fence away from them, you know?
I agree, yes. Oh, here's an interesting thing, because should we, like, obviously everyone here in here is non-believing, should we start calling out other atheists who say that religion is a mental disorder?
I mean, yeah, because technically it's not. I'm sure there's some people out there who do believe because of a mental disorder, but they are the exception that illuminates the rule. Honestly, religion might be people being a dumbass, but it's not a mental disorder.
I thank you. I completely agree. I was going to say, I think most of us should. Sorry, more of us should start doing that, in my opinion.
I think a lot of the problem people have with it, though, by the way, Atheist Ranger, howdy, how you doing?
Hey, how's it going?
Yeah, it's a cherry vodka kind of night. You know, you get a lot of people that are mentally ill, okay? And this comes in with faith-based healing, even in the mental health system. If you tell somebody who suffers from schizophrenia that hears voices, that those voices in their head might be God talking to them literally, right? It tends to fuck people up. And I think that's where a lot of people get into this mental illness, religion type thing, you know? Because, you know, people with mental illness, I mean, you can't tell me that, you know, somebody that hears voices isn't really hearing God if the other person isn't really hearing. You know what I mean?
Well, if I was going to be that kind of a dick, like if I had access to a mentally ill person who was hearing voices, I'd tell him it was the alien control microchip that they stuck in their head, not God. Now,
yeah, some people actually believe that shit, though.
Well, I mean, I'm saying I'm not that kind of dick, but if I was, I wouldn't be telling him it was God.
Yeah. Well, some people think it's God, you know, because it must be, you know, because, you know, they tell the voices will tell them that it's God, right? And I have some personal experience with this crap. Trust me. Ranger knows about some of the shit that's gone on in my life. But people that hear voices, right, and they claim it's God, right? Now, that God might tell them to do certain things, right? You hear about it in the news all the time. God told me to kill my kids. God told me to do this. You know, well, what happens if God tells you to kill yourself, right? And you're a real believer, right? That's why faith-based healing or faith-based recovery, you know, well, that's why I don't work in the fucking system, you know, because it's bullshit, you know, and it just adds more crap to somebody's life, you know?
Yeah.
Well, then you get stuff like the Heaven's Gate cult and the you know, don't drink the Kool-Aid and all of that. I mean, that's where that stuff comes from.
Not unless it has vodka in it, you know. I mean,
you know, now you make me want to go I got some Captain Morgan over there, and now I'm so tempted.
I got this UV cherry vodka. You know, the stuff tastes like cherry Kool-Aid almost with a little bit of a kick. It'll fuck you up, too. Just wait till you try to stand up, you know.
I got 1800 tequila downstairs.
Yeah, the thing I was going to touch on some things with that. I noticed that one of the things is that religion is very, very, very conspiratorial. And that's something I've always said is that the things that are written in the Book of Revelations, if you are religious and you have schizophrenia, it can very, very easily lead you down the road to I want to say paranoid schizophrenia, because of some of that, especially if you get in the know about what's happening with technology, science, etc., etc., etc. Like if you know what's going on with neurotechnology and stuff like that, and you're a fundamentalist and you also believe in the Bible, then you're going to run into some cognitive dissonance that's going to lead you down a road that you do not want to go down.
Yeah. I was just about to say to Patrick's point, and I'm just going to be blunt here.
Jesus Christ, you can't even call me lobster on the fucking internet. How many times? You know what? If I get doxxed one more time, you know, not to mention, I mean, just because I doxed myself like 9 years ago when I first got on the internet because I was, I don't know, dumb and stupid. And everybody knows my fucking name to begin with, you know. You continuously dox me. You know what? And if I have to file papers in federal court to get a cease and desist order, young man,
I'm sorry. My apologies.
Okay, from now on, you are Zagnar the Destroyer.
I'm just used to calling you that because that's the name you usually come in here with. My apologies. I will try to do that.
It says Grampy. Does it still say Patrick?
No,
it says Grampy.
Okay, well that's better. At least something's working in my life.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. Yeah, faith healers and my hot button topic for me is anti-vaxxers because I'm sure many people out there already know who's been watching me a while. I'm mildly autistic, so people who are faith healers and anti-vaxxers can go fuck themselves. I'm just gonna be blunt there.
Are you gonna try to tell me that Jenny McCarthy doesn't know what she's talking about? I mean, for fuck's sake! I mean, she was on Playboy cover, you know.
She was Patrick. I mean, lobster.
Zagnar. His name is Zagnar the Destroyer.
Yes, I'm sorry, Zagnar. You know, she was also in 2.5 Men, so I think it's pretty safe to say she doesn't have good judgment.
That's true.
So, you know what I was saying before about like how my brain will turn certain words into other things? Every time I hear someone say like autism, my brain goes, autism. I can't help it.
Okay, come on. Corny.
No, it's not voluntary. This is what my brain does without my consent.
Kate, I totally understand. I have some of the same similarities. I have a soundtrack and noise in my head continuously.
Well, it's like if I'm ever buying tickets to something and they say, "Oh, it's general admission," my brain goes Lieutenant Colonel admission. You know, if we start talking about our sub count on YouTube, my brain goes, "What about my aircraft carrier account?" I can't help it. This is stuff that happens without.
Well, these are things that we have to worry about in life, though. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if you don't worry about it, who will?
If I wanted to, I can make it everything everyone says dirty, but I don't do that, and that's my father talking.
Well, I don't have a habit of making anything like dirty or disgusting or lolsy, you know. So I pretty much, you know, yeah.
What was the name of that idiot that you and Godless Island were debunking Kate
Jacob
about the free will
Pando.
thing?
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, it's not.
You should be watching this. You should be watching this.
The funny thing is, he went on to my video and started commenting. And one of the things he said was that we were only ripping on him because our sub counts are so low. He has 123 subscribers.
I know.
I'm like, bitch, really?
Wow, between my two channels now, I think I'm almost caught up to him.
And then it's like, and another thing, he said, this video is not important enough for me to comment on. I'm like, well, it's too late for that.
Man, he told you, man. Have you ever gotten over that fact, Kate, that it wasn't good enough for you? I mean, seriously, I mean, it can be traumatic. There are grief counselors available here, you know.
Wow. I mean, and he kept saying that we had ad hominemed him. And I was like, we may have insulted you a bit, but the ad hominem fallacy is that we use those instead of an argument. And I'm like, we still addressed your argument. We just called you a dipshit, too.
See, we did it to me, Kate. When you said ad hominem, I started that do-do-do-do-do.
Right. Well, and he was really, really insulted by the okay counter I put on there. And I'm like, dude, you say it a lot. Take it as criticism. But he's not
constructive
the sort
criticism, of course.
Exactly. I mean, that's one of the reasons I script out my videos is because if I didn't, I'd be going, a lot. So
I do the same thing doing my fucking live stream videos.
See, that's when you need to learn how to do pauses, right, and have a little bit of a look away or something, or a little bit of facial expression along.
Well, that's why I have so many jump cuts in my video. It's like, so then there was this thing he said. Of course, it was stupid. And then anyway, it's that whole editing thing that gives me a chance to say like 2 or 3 sentences and not have to memorize the whole script.
Yeah, I mean, I think Jacob Panda, I think the only interaction I've had with him is that I commented on one of his videos and he and I went back and forth for at least 3 days.
I still don't understand. You know, I get it. People like to have discussions. People like to have debates. People like to debunk bullshit and everything, you know. But you have to understand that they don't think like you, right? And that whatever you say, they're waiting for you to stop talking or your video to end so they can interject, right? That's when people like me pop in, right? Because we're just here to make the fucking fun of you, right? If you do stupid shit, well, yeah. I've been
saying it for years.
And it doesn't matter how many subs somebody has, right? There are people on the internet that have thousands of subs, right? That are idiots.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
Well, I've been saying it for years that if like no part of me expects to convince the person that I'm responding to because I'm certain they're going to take what I say really personally, no matter how impersonally I say it.
Heathen I'm trying to deserve the lake of fire, Kate.
Well, I'm trying to convince the other people watching,
part of the
the ones who aren't going to take it personally,
right?
So.
Yes, our agenda, Grampy, is it's growing.
It is. I mean, it's fucking amazing. You know,
I still haven't got the fucking manual yet, though.
Well, you know what? I did receive the other day. I've got to tell you, I did receive my check from the Rockefellers, the Rothschilds, and the Vanderbilts. My cut of the Atheist check that was cut years ago through a lot of red tape. So I am and I got my membership card in the mail just the other day. So.
I didn't get that shit. What the fuck?
So everybody that's in the Illuminati with me, you know, let's go like this. And just remember, how many triangles can you see in my background? I'm throwing out Illuminati signals as we speak, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh my gosh!
I don't know. All I can see is Snoopy, but that's
I saw the old Ironsides, so that's enough.
Oh my God, Raymond Burr.
Yeah.
Holy shit, you're old as me. You remember the black and white, right? He came in the last 5 minutes in his wheelchair, and every fucking episode, you can skip to the last 3 minutes. After the last commercial, boom, that was the whole thing right there, you know?
Yeah.
Okay, so I got to make like a baby and head out. I'll catch you evil geniuses later.
No problem.
Okay.
See you later, Kate.
See you, Kate.
Hey, Ranger, I gotta tell you something right now. You know, I know you're celebrating right now. You're probably pretty excited about the big news, right? That the Jacksonville Jaguars came in first place for drop balls.
Yeah, I know. I know. I just shared that.
I was gonna write, "Hey, you're number one." You know,
we're number one at something.
A giant disappointment this year. I was like actually going. You know, Jacksonville might actually beat the Patriots this year, you know. But you know what really gets so what? Jacksonville still didn't make the playoffs. What gets me is Pittsburgh beat the fucking Patriots too, and they didn't make the fucking playoffs. Sons of Belichick, roll rise. Just kidding. They'll probably lose the next game or two.
Okay, well, you know what? 2 things, Grandpage. First of all, there's always next season, and number 2,
that's what they say in Cleveland every year.
Well, Jacksonville's not Cleveland. And
yeah, that was probably worse.
Hey, you guys seen Heretic Woman?
Yeah.
Not of lately. Why?
Well, we just had a demonologist on the Non Sequitur show, and It would be a really interesting conversation because she's like an ex-ghost hunter type, right? So that would like she has the right questions, basically. I think she'd enjoy a conversation with a guy.
You know, I used to know some paranormal investigators, right? And they weren't people that believed in ghosts or supernatural spirits. But what they did, they would go out with highly sensitive audio gear, like, you know, all sorts of shit. You know, they did it up really good. I mean, these people, well, they weren't poor like probably we all are. And they had all the latest technology. And they used to literally, they would go out, and when people would talk about, this is back when I lived in Oregon, people would call them and they would, you know, on hearing strange noises. I think somebody's in my garage. I think somebody's in my barn, you know, weird shit, right? And they would go out there in the middle of the fucking night, right? And these guys all had real jobs too, right? During the day. But they would spend the entire night set up with audio equipment. And this one night, they were sitting around, and usually they could find in the end what a noise was. There was a couple times they really couldn't figure out what that noise was, right? And this one time, this girl was telling me that, and this is true, they were sitting, before they went there, they went to Taco Bell, right? And this is true. I swear to God, this is what she said. They went to Taco Bell. And remember those black tacos they had a long time ago? It's like 9 years ago. This is when I still lived in Oregon, like 9 years ago. Well, they had gone to Taco Bell, right? And this one person, right, who was off in the distance, right? There was this noise, right? It was like, right? But it wasn't really loud. And they were like really fixated on this fucking noise. And they're like walking around because I mean, these, like I said, these they had shit spread out. They were primed, ready to go to debunk literally everything, right? And they found this noise, and they didn't know what the fuck this noise was because they have on. It's pitch black. All they have on is headphones, right? No audio communication, much at all, right? They kept hearing this. Finally, in the end, it turned out this guy that had been eating black tacos had gas, right? And everything was quiet except for this guy that kept farting from fucking black tacos, right? And, you know, it's like them fucking Burger King, that black bun that Burger King came out with, and people started shitting black. Don't you love it when I come in and just take the whole fucking hangout down into the fucking shitter, you know?
Literally.
What else would you expect from Secular Lobster Ministries, Clam Shack, Chili House, House of Reprobation, and Land? Hey, Ranger, I got to tell you something. I don't know if you pay. Have you heard about this flat Earth thing?
Yes, unfortunately.
Oh, fuck yeah. You know, there's a guy on YouTube named Dan Pratt, right? And yeah. I got to tell you something. Have you heard of him?
No, I haven't.
Holy shit. Ranger, you got... See, I can go all day without ever saying your fucking name, you know?
False flag. He's false flag.
I know, DMCA. And I got to tell you, I actually got a comment from them today, which actually humbled me on so many levels, about one of my recent videos I did about Dan Pratt. And when Dan Pratt, you know, I got to tell you, Dan Pratt knows science. I got to, you know, and I'm going to defend the man right here, you know. When you can come out with a rubber ball and a big fucking nut, you know, one of those, like, you know, I think the screws and, you know, ratchet thing, whatever. A rubber ball or a kickball or a dodgeball, you know, something you remember from school. And you can put a fucking lug nut on a fucking ball, right? And pretend that's the Earth and a fucking helicopter and spin said ball with a power drill, right? That's science, man, right? Or if you get and I'm telling you, he freaked me out. He showed me about flat Earth. I mean, he got a bowl of water, right? And hooked it up to a power drill and put a stick in it, right? That's science, right? He does it all in his garage because NASA will not allow him access to the secret laboratories so he can debunk the flat Earth. You know?
I wonder why.
And I know. Really?
Shocking.
You know, he's got all this fucking evidence, you know, and when people like the skeptic and them skeptic guys that, you know, got rightly so, they got false DMCA, my golly gosh, because Dan Pratt's got the answers. I mean, he sits in his garage in the state of Washington, right, with a back injury, claiming disability that's been called in question by the government 9 times in the last fucking year, or 2 years. You know, he's got the answers. I mean, these people that went to these Ivy League colleges, these physicists, you know what I think it is? I think in the end, it all came back down to years ago when they decided, oops, fucking earplug fell out. I can't hear shit. I'm hammered anyway. But anyway, this is important. This was all a marketing decision. I read about this. I Googled it. I found it out. This is real fucking news. So I'm giving you the fucking real fucking time breakdown of this, right? Turns out, right, there was these guys in a marketing fucking meeting, right? There was the guys who were like, hey, the Earth's really flat. We really fucking know it, right? But how do we market this shit to the whole fucking world, right? And then these fucking globist elites came in, right? And they had these globes, right, that you could put on your desk, right? They could show it before movies, right? They could pretend that people actually went to outer space and took pictures, right? Their presentation was so marvelous to flat earthers. Well, they didn't have a marketing tool because they knew it was the truth. And now they're trying to make a comeback. And you know, I want to salute people like Dan Pratt, who's trying to expose the Illuminati elites for what they are. And that's nothing but paid shills who, well, need to die.
You know, Stanley Kubrick insisted they do it on site when they filmed the moon videos. They had to do it on site.
What movie?
Yeah.
You got to remember, I'm drunk.
The moon movie, the one about
the fake moon landing.
The fake moon landing, the Apollo missions.
Well, I remember in 1971, I believe it was the first time I ever heard about it. The moon landing actually being fake. I actually read a comment one day. Back then they had like a lot of outlaw newspapers and media things, kind of like the internet now with outlaw news or alternative news. And there was actually a thing that the moon landing was actually filmed at the old MGM Grand Studios in Hollywood because they had no other use for it. This was back in like 1971. So the whole fucking moon landing hoax thing, it's been around forever. You know, we all know it's a hoax. I mean, we just do. I mean, are you going to tell me we went all the way up there, you know, and then didn't go to Mars? I mean, seriously? I mean, God, we should have a Starbucks.
What are you drinking?
Cherry vodka.
Cherry vodka. Yummy.
Yeah. I got a long story about my affections for cherry vodka. It goes back to my youth when I got intentionally fucked up one time and sent to the store to buy food with no money. I have issues.
Yeah, the fake moon landing. I think I have a video on my channel that I mirrored from a show called Adam Knows Everything, and he actually brought up a good point that I think faking the moon landing would have cost the government, the U.S. government, twice as much money as just going there.
Well, you know what NASA was really. NASA was nothing than just one giant office party. It promoted homosexuality and massive alcohol and drug consumption because that's the only way, and hookers, because that's the only way you can spend that kind of money and not actually do anything.
God damn,
what's kind of funny.
So if you worked for NASA back in the 60s and 70s, you were one lucky fuck, you know.
Well, these people also believe that Area 51 houses aliens and shit.
It does. It does actually. It does. And I did some I googled it. I googled it actually. And I watched a video that proved that beyond a shadow of doubt that Obama was not actually shot down in 1944 as an alien, but the real Obama is actually being stored at Area 51.
Well, we all know aliens exist. I mean, how do you think Lady Gaga got here?
I'm kind of
Hillary Clinton.
Exactly.
Just the reason Trump got elected. Fuck. I hate Hillary Clinton.
Cindy Lauper and
you know there's still rumors about her running again.
Cindy Lauper commercial where she's got eczema or some shit, and she talks about how hard it was for her to go on stage and sing really stupid songs.
Yeah.
But now she's better.
Oh, speaking of Hillary, I think there's still rumors about her running again.
Oh, Jesus. Fuck, I hope not, God.
She's not going to run again.
If they trot her out in front of us again,
Elizabeth Warren will be the new Hillary Clinton this next election season. And Elizabeth Warren is unelectable. You can quote me here right now, right? So is Bernie Sanders, right? If they don't come up with anybody new, and that chick, the dancing chick that's kind of hot from her video in college when she was
Cortez.
Yeah, she's she's got a lot of vim and vigor with her and stuff like that, but I don't know if she's exactly what we're looking for.
I mean, I like her policies, but
I like her enthusiasm. Right? Don't get me wrong. I like her enthusiasm, but even some of the Democrats that are moderates are going, you really need to learn the job first. Al Franken, as good as he was, spent his first term being humble and learning the job. And look what Al Franken did before he put his hands near a woman's boobs as a joke.
Yeah, that was bullshit.
Yeah.
I like Al Franken.
So have I convinced anybody else that the flat Earth is real tonight?
No.
Well, then you need to watch Dan Pratt.
I'll watch Dan Pratt just right
Dan
after
Pratt
I watch,
is reshaping the world
David.
as we fucking speak, man. Let's look at his video.
What do you think of Trigger Tits, the Dumb Fuck of the Year winner?
Who was Dumb Fuck of the Year this year?
Southern Israelite. Speaking of flat earthers.
Ugh.
Southern Israelite?
Yep.
Is that the name of the YouTube channel or the name of the group?
No, it's just the name of the YouTube channel.
Well,
okay.
I don't care who won. I still support Von Helton for being Dumb Fuck of the Year, Dumb Fuck of the Century, Dumb Fuck of the Millennium, Dumb Fuck since 1964.
Well,
he's a flat earther. He's a flat earther, pagan, jumps into any fucking conspiracy nut. He's a Mandela effect.
He's an anti-vaxxer.
Every fucking retarded fucking thing in the world,
And he's still
going
after
the frogs gay.
Didn't he go after who was that went after Just Darren?
Who hasn't gone after Just Darren? Just Darren's got some fucking. He's got some fucking skeletons in his closet too. I mean, nothing against Just Darren. I don't know. I mean, I've never actually talked to Just Darren. Oh Jesus, I'm drunk. I should watch my mouth. Yeah, Just Darren's good. He does unique videos like myself. But and seems to have a genuine man stiffy for greasy fucking gravy head like Vaughn. But
yeah.
I don't know what did Darren say.
Oh, I was just wondering, trying to figure out who actually it was.
Who, Darren?
Think of that he had somebody came back against him because he said something, and it's like,
there's been a lot of people that used to
Von
be.
Helton do it once? Didn't Von Helton do it at least once?
Do what?
Oh, get pissed off at him. And you
Darren?
and Look Big and everybody else. Like,
Oh,
he
yeah.
gets pissed off at everybody.
He gets upset sometimes. You know, he'll get his panties in a bunch, and you know.
That's how I met most of y'all. That's how I met.
Yeah,
most of y'all
isn't
in the
that
first
strange?
place.
There's so many people. You know, that's the one thing that that a lot of us have in common that we can all thank Von Helton for. I've met so many wonderful people through my infatuation with Von Helton. I mean, Southern Raven, you know, Father Judgment, Polly's Custom. I mean, there's the list goes on and on. I mean, legendary.
Steve McRae, Frank from the Geek Room, Bran.
Well, they're not really a Von Helton crowd. You know what I mean? They've done videos, and Steve McRae. You know, he does good videos, but Steve McRae doesn't know how to do a Von Helton.
No,
because Steve McRae is too serious, and he's got too much of an education. And same with the Geek Room. You know, they don't spend enough time on Earth. You know, and that's where people like myself, you know, come in. You know, to fill that void. You're welcome. And it's kind of my fucking hair's in my face. I'm getting my hair trimmed next week. The last time I had a haircut was 6 years ago, and I took scissors to the back of my head with a ponytail and lopped it off because it was so fucking long. So this is actually the first time in like 8 years I'm gonna have a literal fucking, you know, like fix my fucking hair so it doesn't look like, you know, just like a mop on my head. So I'm really looking forward to that. Do what?
I gotta go.
I
gotta go.
I'll miss you.
I was gonna say I gotta run too, but I just thought I'd pop in.
I'll miss you.
If you do talk to Heretic Woman, let her know that Steve McRae and Kyle Curtis would like to speak with her.
Oh, okay.
No problem.
That's wonderful.
The only thing I know is that she told me she had company tonight. That's why she couldn't come.
I heard she was getting married too, which is a good thing. You know.
Yeah, she got engaged actually.
Yeah, it's about time she decided to live a godly life. You know,
exactly.
Right.
She
posted that on Facebook, I think.
Yeah, and I'm sure she's gonna have a real Christian wedding too.
Right.
You know?
Right. Yeah, no problem. Thanks, David.
All right, later. Good night, guys.
Good night.
Good night. Well, I pretty much shit on your fucking whole hangout, huh?
No, you didn't. And
you guys were having fun, you know, and everything. And I come in, and Kate leaves, and then everybody else leaves, and you know,
never. You're always welcome here, dude.
Oh my god, I feel shitty.
And just for the record, just so that way you can get even. I have no problem with you saying my name as long as you don't hand out my address. My address is where I draw the line. Good sir.
Hey, I notice when you go to the bar, I know where you drink, you know, I know what kind of chicks you like, you know. I know the football it's like sometimes I'm like, actually go to his hangout and like, you know, bring up things like, you know, big girls and I like a big girl too. And it just because I have other friends that are like that. I mean, like my weed guy, right?
Well,
you know,
I mean,
he posts stuff. I know exactly how exactly my weed guy likes to have sex, right? He likes good, thick, big bootied women with big boobs. He likes it rough. He likes to lick assholes, you know, like this. And he puts it on Facebook, right? And I'll go talk to him sometimes, right? And he'll try to start telling me something, and I'll be like, you know, we already know how
this is going to end.
How this is going to, yeah, exactly. You know? And he'll look at me, and I'm like, dude, we know that you eat assholes. You know? We know that how big your pecker is. We know everything about you. What else can you tell me today?
Yeah, right.
But he's a good guy. And, you know, we all have our flaws, you know, and I think if we all just sit back and reflect and realize that our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ is the reason why we are here today.
Yeah, right.
Let's sit around and have a chain. You know what? Even before I became an atheist, you know what one of my biggest fears was whenever I was in any type of group situation was the dreaded chain prayer, right? Where they tell everybody to hold hands, right?
Yeah.
You ever get stuck in one of those when you were younger? Holy shit! It's
fucking,
like, oh, fuck.
I know. I used to play. I think when I was little, I did Little League and I did basketball, and every fucking team just stop.
Let's just stand here and let's all join hands and have a chain prayer, right? And if you don't feel like saying anything, just squeeze the person's hand next to you, right? So everybody's pretty much squeezing their hands, except for like one or two kids on your fucking team, right? They want to profess their love for Jesus Christ.
Oh no,
and you're like, Jesus, isn't Pizza Hut down the street? Aren't we supposed to go for pizza now? And you're doing this stupid shit.
No, to me, the most funny part was when I was once upon a time I used to participate in the Special Olympics, and one of the main coaches I saw there, he did the same thing. I'm like, okay, let me see if I got this straight. You want a room full of autistics to touch each other?
Jesus.
No, you want a room full of each other? No, well, like most autistics don't like being touched. That's the problem. That's what I was like being sarcastic about. I said, okay, let me see if I got this straight. You want to get a group of people who don't like being touched by their own family members, let alone fucking strangers. You want them to huddle together and touch each other. Is that what you're telling me, Coach?
And it's totally not gay because you're friends and you're fellow athletes.
I mean, I've learned.
No, I get it. Yeah.
Yeah, like I've learned to deal with people touching me. The only time I'll like freak out is like when people try to touch my head. I don't like my head being touched.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I get it. I mean, people. Yeah, I'm not afraid of touching if it's somebody I want to touch me, right? Yeah. But and I'll shake hands, do a fist pump with people or something like that. But I'm not a hugger. Never have been a hugger. People that are huggers. I mean, I know people in my life that are huggers, right? And they're beautiful people, and I'll give them a hug and stuff like that. But for the most part, I'll wave. I'll give a fist bump, shake a hand, maybe a quick, bro bump, but I'm not a hugger. I don't want you to touch me.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? And I'm not autistic. Well, I might be. I don't know.
No, like
scales going these days.
I mean, I agree. I agree because I only reserve hugging for people that I consider family.
Yeah, exactly. But you meet people, like I've met people in my life that are just huggers, right? And I because that's just who they are, right? And they're part of my life, and it's not that every time, but they're kind of touchy feely, huggy type people. And you're like, okay, this, but with strangers or people I don't know, right? The most you're gonna get is a handshake or a fist pump, or a boom boom boom,
Yeah.
Because no, I don't want you touching me, I'm not a germaphobe, but no, I don't want you touching me, or hey, you ever have some? I don't know. You've got shorter hair. But you ever like be somewhere, and your hair's kind of like in your face a little bit, and have somebody come up to you and go like that, and they move your hair?
No.
And you really don't even know this person, right? They're going, I was just trying to do you a favor. It looked like your hair was in your eyes, right?
Oh my God.
And I'm like, I feel like I've been raped.
No, the only experience I've had with, I guess, my head being touched, which again, I will say something most of the time. And just, I think when it comes to people I've dated, like we'll be sitting on the couch sitting on my bed watching TV, and the person I'm dating will just like rub my head like I'm a fucking dog. Like, stop that.
Yeah. It's like, I'm not a cat, I'm not a dog.
Exactly. Like I told you when we started this, I don't like my head being touched, and I'm definitely not a fucking dog. Stop it.
And the least they can do is figure out a way to do that without irritating you. I mean, that's the least they could do. You no, I get it. There's times where I'm kind of like, you're kind of like going, yeah, is this supposed to make me horny or something? Because all you're doing is pissing me off. I might have to call you an Uber.
Yeah.
You got $40? Oops, you're gonna walk.
Oh, and by the way, what I was going to say earlier is that the fact that the Jags kicked the Patriots' ass is all the satisfaction I need this season.
Well, and those little fucking things in life,
Yeah,
I
that's
mean, Jalen Ramsey, you know, you got to, you know what? He's one of those guys that if he's on your team, you'll like him. But
yeah.
I guarantee you, when he's not on the Jaguars, you're going to think he's a giant cunt.
No, I'm always gonna think he's good, no matter if he's on our team or not.
You can be good, you know, but when you do things he does and says things he does, he hasn't backed it up. You know, he's a loudmouth fucking new prick, right? And trust me, you know, I mean, he's gonna get some picks. He'll get his fucking things. But when you play football and you act like that, right, you tend to get a reputation, right? There are former Patriots that are out there, right, that were loved in New England, right? They go to another team, right, and run their mouth, right? You're no longer, you know, a good guy, right? You're an idiot. You know, you're a loudmouth prick. Jalen Ramsey's one of those people, right? That's why I don't think he's going to have that much of a tenure in the NFL. He's going to get exposed. Just remember Richard Sherman.
Oh yeah, wait, yeah, he's still
When
playing.
Richard Sherman was talking all that shit, that was like Richard Sherman's farewell. That was his swan song. That game when he kind of like came in and goes, yeah, and all that shit, and people had fun. Jalen Ramsey's going to be the same thing, right? Nobody's that fucking good, right? To talk that much shit.
Ramsey's. I mean, I agree with most of it. I mean, Ramsey hasn't been doing much lately, but then again, neither has the entire Jags defense. To put it in nuance, because I know Patrick's not going to be a little honest here, but most of Jacksonville's offensive line was second and third strings this year.
Okay, and
no, this
it's a National Football League team. They're supposed to still perform.
I know
they're not supposed to go from the AFC Championship game to what, 4 wins?
Well, yeah, but
our offensive line. Patriots. Hey, a couple of years when they won the Super Bowl, their offensive line was decimated. In New England all year, all they kept talking about was how fucked up the offensive line was, and Brady's in trouble. Right?
Yes, but I agree.
And the sons of Belichick came through.
You guys had a Hall of Fame quarterback. We don't.
Well, you're trying your best, and I guess, and if you're a Jacksonville Jaguars fan, that's all you can really do is do your best. You know.
Well, that's what most teams can do, because most teams haven't won a Super Bowl.
Well, Jacksonville hasn't.
Well, I know. I said most NFL teams. In fact, I looked this up. I think only 13 out of the 32 teams have won Super Bowls.
Brady's won 5 by himself. I mean, you know, as a quarterback.
Well, I mean, I'm
coach.
When he spends most of his time deflating balls, of course he's going to win.
Oh, you know what? The same thing came up in Pittsburgh. The same thing came up in Baltimore.
I'm yanking your chain. Relax.
They caught fucking deflated fucking balls.
I'm yanking your chain. Relax.
I know. The only reason it was ever brought up is because of, you know, the fucking Spygate and all that shit. Which, hey, Robert Kraft's got a wonderful fucking TV production team, right? Yeah. Something that the Meadowlands has, something that most stadiums has, right? And you know, it's like when you go to Foxborough, right? If you go to a Patriots game or any NFL team, right, especially in New England, right, if one side of the coaches, right, can't hear everything on their headsets, right, usually both teams have to take their headsets off so there's no fair advantage. When you're in an NFL stadium, you have free Wi-Fi, you've got all sorts of TVs, you've got shit flying all over the place. It happens, right, where you can't communicate with upstairs and stuff like that, so they have to go to old-fashioned football with no fucking headsets and people up top. If that happens in New England, right, which it happens in football more than you think, right, all of a sudden the Patriots are cheating again, right? You know, the whole thing with Tom Brady, you know, and getting suspended for 4. I will tell you one thing right now. The worst thing that the Patriots did was get rid of Jimmy Garoppolo.
Oh, that was stupid. I agree.
I cried. I was like, oh my God, the heir apparent is finally here. He's a good quarterback and he's handsome as fuck. Who's going to be the next fucking top model?
Yeah, I think
it's going to marry a New England Patriot because they have, in order to be a quarterback in New England, you have to be handsome as fuck, right? You have to have that, right? You have to have that look, and you have to marry a model. And Tom Brady did both, you know. And people are just haters, you know.
yeah, I mean, yeah, I think that was a stupid move, and I think another stupid move that my team did was I think we got rid of our best receiver, in my opinion, which was
They kept Blake Bortles for too long, man.
I am so fucking pissed about that. They need to. Sorry, let me say.
Quarterbacks in the NFL are a dime a dozen these days. Why do you think some of these guys? You know, it's like.
No, I was going to say that Jacksonville needs to, you know, quit their crying, you know, grab a hold of their balls and call Colin Kaepernick. I'm sorry.
Hey, you know, I don't know. I don't like Colin Kaepernick. I remember when he played for the University of Nevada, right? He was the reason that Boise State didn't make the BCS playoffs that year, which I will never forgive him for. So my hatred for Colin Kaepernick goes back to when he played college. But I think Colin Kaepernick, after his Super Bowl appearance, the next year when he was exposed by the Patriots, I'm not saying, you know, oh, the Patriots, you know, like that. But the next year in the championship game when Colin Kaepernick was exposed by the Patriots, right, he was never the same the following year, right? And once a quarterback gets exposed, right, and it happens to a lot of – look at pitchers in baseball, right? Look at players in sports. When they first come onto the scene, right, they're just spot on, the best you've ever seen. Holy shit, who's going to stop this guy, right? And then they figure these people out, right? Sandy Koufax didn't pitch a no-hitter every game, right? You know, people started to figure him out, but not often, right? Colin Kaepernick, in the end, was an easy quarterback to figure out.
Yeah.
You know, he was something new in the beginning, right? And that was it. You know, I don't think Colin Kaepernick to say he's not an NFL quality quarterback would be like shitting on some of the really shitty people that they try to bring back. Certain NFL teams try to recycle for their quarterbacks. It's, you know, like Denver's famous for it. So is Baltimore.
Yeah, I mean, with Blake Bortles, and I will give him this one. Blake Bortles has the proper protection and actual fucking people to throw.
Oh, he's got a good arm.
Exactly. That's what I argue with other Jacksonville fans about. As long as he has if you see his numbers from again last season when we went to the AFC Championship, throughout the season when he has a good offensive line and people to throw to, he's fucking.
Why do you think Brady's lasted so long? Because the offensive line was always so important. That's why when the offensive line would break down, like one year, holy shit. If you listen to sports radio out here, I'm serious, you would think that the Patriots suck. I mean, they're just, oh my God, how the fuck are they going to win this game? Oh shit, oh, this has happened, and everything, you know. And they're not having the best year, you know. They're having a year that a lot of teams would love to have, right? But it's not a typical Patriots year. And granted, New England fans soon will remember
the Brady era,
what it was like when the Patriots sucked, because they're not going to be that team anymore. They're not that team anymore, right? If New England has to go to Kansas City for the playoffs,
which most likely will happen.
Yeah, it's not going to be good. I'm hoping for a miracle for the Colts, which I don't think that's going to happen either. But Andrew Luck is one of those guys. You know, you never know.
You also have to beat San Diego, and I think 4. And I'm not
beat San Diego.
Well, I mean, I'm not saying this to be mean, but I think San Diego does have at least a decent chance of beating.
They're the LA Chargers.
Because I mean, 4 out of the 5 New England losses this season did come from teams that didn't make the playoffs.
Yeah, exactly, and that's why a lot of people are upset.
Yeah,
but they beat Kansas City, although it was in New England, right? They beat Kansas City, you know, and the thing is, you're supposed to win the games you're supposed to. Now, if you beat teams that don't make the playoffs, there's no shame in that because you're supposed to beat them, right? They beat enough teams that did make the playoffs to make the playoffs, right? Are they going to win the Super Bowl? I'm not sure about that, but I know one thing: Cleveland's not, Jacksonville's not, Pittsburgh's not, Dallas isn't.
Well, I mean, that's just a real quick note of what I mentioned earlier. That's why I was mentioning the offensive line, because I don't have to tell you've been watching football obviously longer than I have. With most teams, maybe not the Patriots, but with most teams, injuries to the offensive line takes its toll.
Oh yeah, but
So I didn't want you thinking I was just he's a Jags fan coming up with excuses. I'm not.
I know, Jesus fuck. But but yeah, personally myself, the football season's pretty much almost over and stuff, and basketball and hockey season, I try to get into a little bit, but I got my Red Sox World Series fucking shirt on, so I'm kind of like looking more forward to February 12th when pitchers and catchers report in Fort Myers, Florida, the beginning of the new baseball season.
The only sport I watch besides football is boxing, and once in a while I catch an MMA match.
Boxing's not real. You ought to watch something like professional wrestling. That's a real sport.
You've got that backwards, kind sir.
I don't think so.
I'm gonna stop the live stream real quick.
Okay. Bye.
Yeah. This has been my January sub hangout. I'm the Atheist Ranger. This is Secular Lobster. Go check him out. And y'all have a nice night. Bye.